Eberflus. Chase Claypool in the first game disrespected you. He disrespected, he basically said your mama. He disrespected the principles that your entire defense is built upon. And you was like, that's okay, let's keep it going into the second game. He apologized for it. No, you don't do that. You set the standard. This is our standard. This is where we play at. If you don't meet this standard, you will not be here. It shouldn't have took you to week 4 if that's who he was. I wanted Chase to be good. I told them to bring in Chase, right? I called Ryan. Yo, Ryan, go get him. You know what I mean? A day later, he was traded. I'm never doing that again.
Matter of fact,
you know what I mean?
got on me because I said no.
I did. No, don't come back now.
I did.
You know,
I said no.
You did.
You know why?
No, he did.
No,
say
you know
no.
why? Because my point was like everybody else said, if Pittsburgh's getting rid of you, that means there's something.
Yeah.
Y'all see a trend here?
Huh?
Y'all see a trend here? Go finish your thought.
Well, I just said if Pittsburgh saw a problem with him, I'm like, I don't want him. And I said then by him getting here, it's hard because he needs a whole offseason to learn off. Like you're expecting this guy to come in and just take off. I didn't see that happening. So I was like, we can wait and see.
Yeah,
then
but it shouldn't have took 14 weeks.
Yeah.
Like there is something that this is the thing.
You see the trend though?
He's got all the talent in the world. He really does. He's got the size, he's got the ability, but if you ain't got it here, you're gonna get cooked.
All of those dudes, for the most part,
Pat called for Chase Claypool. That happens a day later. Chase Claypool about to get cut, so that's on Pat. Pat wore the orange jersey on the day that he shouldn't have worn an orange jersey. We get obliterated.
Hey, bro, I ain't worn that orange jersey.
He ain't wore it. The one time he don't do nothing wrong, right? We have one of the best games. We still lost. We have the best game of the season. Justin looks like a real QB because Pat wore neutral colors, the Bears blue, and Chase Claypool wasn't on the field.
So neutral colors. Hold up, neutral colors. Neutral colors, right? I wore Walter Payton.
That's a neutral jersey, baby. That's a Hall of Fame. All I'm saying is it's very
neutral
indicative.
colors. Only one of the best.
It's very indicative that every pack decision turns out to a Bears loss. I just want to say that right there.
We get toxic up in there.
You get real toxic.
No, y'all not following. Do you see the trend?
What's the truth?
When he's doing the football, you do the exact same thing in basketball.
What you mean?
Where are you at when Kobe White was?
Oh, well, maybe I should not show up then.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. The first thing that somebody said in the chat when we had scored the third touchdown was, "Hey, you can't never invite P Kid and Ringo to the studio again." They don't show up and all of a sudden we win it. Like,
hey, that's like in what's that Bronx Tale? And the guy had the bad luck stuff, and they was like,
"Oh yeah,
like, don't even get him over here. Don't even do it." They were at the racetrack. He was like, "I bet all my money on the horse." Oh, tear the tickets up. It's a wrap.
Hey, so let me ask y'all this, right? Is Chase Claypool's time with the Chicago Bears over with now? I mean, I believe Flus didn't know. Flus is at the podium basically going, no, we didn't tell him to stay home. And then all of a sudden after that, he's got to walk it back because somebody told him to stay home, which means it was above Flus. So to me, Ryan came into the building and was like, you can't be here. You don't meet our standard. You go home. All the other inactives are there. Deontay Foreman's on the sideline. We forgot he was on the team.
Man,
sure
where
did.
is he at?
Facts.
He's a healthy scratch.
You know what? I'm mad.
Mercedes Lewis.
Mercedes Lewis on the field.
He actually played.
He played yesterday.
He played
Yeah, he played a lot.
Man,
He had a fun.
he came here for
They
blocking.
need to put him on the touch push.
I do want to ask though, because V-Dog mentioned it. I thought the same thing. Was that just Coach Pete? Did he lie?
No, he lied.
Yeah, he
100% he
lied.
lied.
Did Flus lie? Did Flus lie by not knowing?
Well, here's the thing.
That's what I mean. Did Flus lie?
Or did he not know?
I don't think he did not know.
I don't. It's hard for me to believe your head coach didn't know why a player wasn't there, especially when per Flus, they meet every week and go over the roster and who's going to be active, who's going to be inactive. But what I will say is I do believe that Ryan Poles made an executive decision because somebody has to show leadership. It's clearly not Matt Eberflus. That's the biggest problem. You can be a defensive head coach and all of that, but if you're the elite leader in the room, you don't let somebody walk in, slap your principles in the face, and then just keep going about your business and say, he'll be back next week. Heck, he'll be back for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we saw from Matt Eberflus in 2 games or the first 4 games of the season. It took him till week 4 for him to go, for somebody to go. It wasn't him, clearly, to go, hey, he doesn't meet our standards. Yes, he's got talent. for me, Ryan Poles going. I'm not saying it's Poles. I don't know if it's Poles, but I would assume that he would be a part of that conversation. I traded this pick for you, and I'm willing to not have you here. That to me tells me all I need to know about who the real leader of this organization is right now. And unfortunately, it's not your head coach. And it don't seem to be any of the players on the team, because whenever the players are asked about it, hey, he got to do what he do. He know he got to do better. He talked to us, blah, blah, blah. No.
I want to hold
ask Olin Cruz that question.
I want to reserve my judgment on that one, because we don't definitively know if it was a Poles or Flus thing, or if Flus talked to Poles about not letting him.
They talk every week about who's going to be on active in.
Yeah, I'm saying, but we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, we do know that.
We don't know if Poles made that decision, or if Flus made that decision, or talked to him about that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the course.
Whether you made that decision or not, week one showed you your principle is hits. The number one word is hustle.
It's hustle. No, I'm with you.
The second you do that and you allow that back into the room, that's you saying, okay, well, the principle ain't that important.
No, listen, I'm saying, I'm not defending him. I'm like, hey, I'm all for giving Flus smoke. But if I don't know if he didn't, if he wasn't responsible for the decision,
gentleman in the room,
I'm I'm a reserve judgment on that. He still got to go though.
Let me ask the old guys.
I still think he lasted way too long.
Let me ask the old guys in the room. When Mike Ditka,
Is that the only guy?
had somebody that maybe didn't get all.
It's a different time frame.
No, it's still the principle.
It's the principle. Old guys, but we all kind of saw it. When Bill Belichick had a guy who didn't hustle.
Hey, he said
whoever, you know what I mean?
He said Buddy in the Super Bowl.
You can't not do that.
No, you can't talk. The thing is, it's just like kids. If you are the authority, and you can't let them back talk you, because what happens is that they're doing that, and the other kids or the other players are going to do the same thing to you.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like this. You have a substitute teacher, or the teacher that first became a teacher, and when they're all green and they're all happy to be there, and then the kids give them running through everything.
We ran some teachers out,
dude. I'll never forget Mr. Sterling.
I made a teacher cry. I felt so bad.
Mr. Sterling at Rich South back in the day. He was all, hey. He got so mad to the point where kids kept messing with him. My voice cracked one time, and I answered the question. I was like, he's like, what's the answer? I was like, 1. And the whole class erupted in laughter. He thought I was playing. That's it. Get out. He snapped. He had no more patience. It's like, what happened to the nice guy?
All he needed was a reason.
It was a powder keg.
He hit you with the Joel. Actually, it's Joe. Shut up!
Yeah, he was Mr. Garvey.
Go down to Old Shack Hennessy office.
And forget that he hit him with the Tim Duncan. He just
Teched him up for laughing on the bench.
He double teched you for laughing on the bench.
Hey, he was just smiling on the bench.
Hey, I don't know if I believe that no more.
What?
Because of what we found out about Tim, how Tim talked trash.
Oh, he
I don't know.
He was
Tim might have did something.
Nice.
Tim might have did something, bro. I don't know if I believe that no more. Almost. Bro, you know how mad I be, bro?
Ooh.
I almost block your shot.
Keep close. Keep trying.
I don't know. That's not trash. I like that. That's cool.
No.
So a ref too? That's kind of soft.
He's getting under your skin, though.
You like that when he not putting 50 on your head. He dropped 50 on DeMarcus Cousins and 22 in 5 minutes of the game, bro.
Right. He cooked them. Ooh, nice try.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you've ever been on the receiving end of somebody just going nuts, it's impressive. You'd be like, I don't know how the heck he did it, but I'm gonna go watch some tape because that move right there. Hey, dog, how you do that?
Yeah,
right there?
facts.
How you do that?
Amazing.
Hey, listen. When you cook me, you cook me. I'm sorry. It just is what it is.
I've been on the receiving end of getting cooked.
I'm gonna say this though. What makes me, I'm disappointed that we can't corral this dude or get him in line because he's still a talent. We don't have a lot of talent.
But you know what? I don't need talent.
Huh?
I don't need talent that's not willing to put in the work.
I understand that. My point is, I'm disappointed that we have a dude that's 6'4", 245 pounds of a receiver. That's crazy. We don't have a lot of guys like that, and it's just disappointing we can't get this guy properly motivated. Maybe he doesn't believe in the coach. He's
still a dime a dozen though.
He's a dime a dozen.
There's plenty of those. That's why
he's a dime a
dozen.
No.
Now listen, maybe not at his stature. If that's what you're saying,
not a dime a dozen.
That build ain't a dime a dozen.
You don't. Look at his arms,
dude.
No, that's
you know who's comparable to him. Really, you think about who's comparable to him.
Megatron.
DK.
DK.
No,
DK.
They're all the same.
it's
Okay,
DK.
stat man, look
It's
it up.
DK.
Build
DK.
and
You know I got to look up.
Build
Chase
and
is 6'4",
measurements?
230.
DK might be
6'4", 238 for Chase.
For 38, that jump is too. That's a linebacker.
DK?
DK's like
DK's probably
6'6".
DK 6'4".
6'4". I said comparable.
No, he's
I didn't say the
6'4".
same.
He's 6'4", 230. Son, what is he?
Oh, well, hey.
Six.
I
Thank you.
stand
6'4", 2. What?
DK Metcalf is 6'4", 235.
I
That's
told-
the same play.
He's comparable
he
to
won.
DK.
DK look
wants
bigger.
the
I didn't know
word.
that.
DK's faster
No.
though.
I didn't know
No,
that.
but you know what it is too. I think this is also the scenario that you get yourself into, right? You fall in love with the measurables, you fall in love with what he can do, but you
Ignore what he is doing.
ignore
Yeah.
the things that are the red flags. The two red flags for me coming here with him was I thought he was upset about his situation, so that would fix the mental side of what we were seeing in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I guess this ain't too much of a better situation right now, but
It's a worse.
realistically, I don't believe that, but he got more opportunity. In fact, in the second game, they was like, we got to get the ball to you because you're upset. We want to make you not upset, which also tells me there's weak leadership in the building because if a wide receiver come whining to you and you just
Which
say,
is
okay,
every wide
we're
receiver.
building
Wide
the
receivers
we're
are
building the offense
you
to
can't-
you today.
yeah,
But
the-
not when you the three.
You
If he worked himself into being the two, I'd feel you on that. But you can't be 3 receptions on 8 targets
and
for
the-
36 yards.
Hold on.
the problem is, we talked about this before, right? The offensive, the identity of what you want to have for this team. So you got to remember, it's still cold once December and January are here, end of November. So you're going to have to run more. You're going to have this stout defense. So yeah, you could try to predicate on passing the ball, but once we get a dome and we're inside, then we might be able to change that personnel where receiving is, a part of the main focus of offense. But you have to have running. We have to get these trenches right. So he can't be selfish to the point that you can't put him in check. But I think any receiver that comes here wants the ball.
Of course, you want the ball, and I do agree that they didn't use him correctly while he was here, at least through the first 3 games, right? But you also got to know the playbook for me to use you correctly.
That's
Chase
true.
Claypool said it himself.
Yeah.
I thought we were doing a screen pass, I thought we were doing a run. We were doing a screen pass. That's why, right? The Shaq Barrett screen that ends up getting picked, the one before that.
Yep.
That's why he's holding.
Yeah.
He thought it was a
I
run.
saw him on the sidelines literally throwing a tantrum because I was on that side of the field and he's over there yelling at the coach and he's pointing back and forth. And it's like, it makes sense because they did. He just stood there on the side and let the play go.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need all 11 men on that side to do their job. You have to sell, you have to block, you have to do your part. So it's disappointing that they can't get this guy motivated to play like he's
I also
supposed
check his maturity though.
that's what I'm
If
saying.
DJ Moore,
What
if DJ Moore, who's definitively a better receiver than
Hey,
you,
yo,
ain't
it's
say
crazy.
nothing.
Hey,
DJ Moore is clearly not being used right, and he ain't saying nothing yet. What makes you think they ain't here to see you? Ain't nobody here to see you, Otis. What is we
Hey.
talking about? Right
Hey.
now?
No, we want to
What are
see
you doing?
Chase though. We were excited when we did get him.
We don't want to see Chase more than we want to see DJ.
Who was excited?
I want to see
No.
both of them.
No.
We want to see
that
DJ.
man was excited right there.
I was excited for
Yeah,
Chase.
yeah. When we had
I was excited.
Darnell Mooney as our number one.
I was excited for Chase as the number 2. I really was.
I am too.
Well, not no more. Well,
It's disappointing.
it's time. His time with the Bears is over. It is 100%. And
Facts.
to me, like that's
All right,
the given.
So do you think we're getting a 5th or 6th round pick for the dude?
No, I think they cut him.
I think that nobody's gonna want to trade for. Like,
He's going to come with the moniker of not being a cancer in the
He's
locker
a
room.
malcontent. He's
and all that
a
stuff.
cancer.
He's going to get cut.
he's not. And the problem is, all the teams that you would think that would be like, oh, maybe we'll take a flyer on him because we got the culture. The GM and the assistant GM are attached here. The organization, like, they're the ones that are going to be making the call. You know what I mean? Like,
That's the funny part. He might go to.
don't
Somebody
even-
mentioned it. Like,
don't
my man
even-
Drew in the
don't
corner
even
said
get
going to
me
KC.
started
If
on
he
No,
get cut.
because
Ryan
the
Poles.
one
Don't
thing,
even
the
get
one
if
thing,
Ryan Poles is the one that told you to stay home, you think he's going to tell Andy Reid, yeah, he's a great guy?
No, but
You know what I mean? Like, Ryan Poles is from the Kansas City organization.
the
He knows
dude-
the people there. That's what I'm saying. The organizations that will take a flyer on a malcontent are usually your best organizations because they're like, we got the
we got the locker room.
the locker room here to keep you in check and make sure that you're not getting out of body, right?
Jalen Carter.
100%. A Jalen Carter situation, right? 100%. But realistically speaking, Ian Cunningham comes from Philly. And the one thing that I do know is the Jalen Carter trade it tells me that they buddy. They're still very handshake with the organizations.
That's how that works.
Yeah, that's why I want that.
Yeah.
But what it also tells me is Ryan Poles ain't gonna pick up the phone and be like, "No, Chase was a great guy."
No, take him off my hands, will you?
Yeah, that's what it's literally gonna be.
That's what it's gonna be.
And take him off your hands mean you sending a pick.
But I do think that if he does get cut, somebody will pick him up though.
He'll get picked up because of the measurables.
And mainly,
He will.
I think he'll get picked up whether he gets a glowing report or not, simply because.
No.
That's because every team thinks
Every-
they're the answer to curing somebody of
Yeah.
whatever they're
You
doing.
just
And we
need
also
one
have to admit
sucker.
that we're not the answer for
We
everybody.
need one.
Like this
we're not
situation
the
was
answer.
worse for him than it was in Pittsburgh. It really was.
What do you
It
think?
just is what it is.
What do you think about the fact that we took a swing at this though? Is this an indictment on Poles, or do you like that your GM's willing to take a chance? So that now the 32nd pick is attached to it.
I think
32nd pick in the
when I
draft.
look-
I got to give him the same smoke I gave Pace.
I don't like it simply because of the fact, bro. You came from Pittsburgh. Like this is Mike Tomlin. The one thing Mike Tomlin gonna do is show loyalty. So it's like if you coming in, you showing up late, you're not coming to meetings, and then it's like, oh well, you in the locker room, you and Juju, y'all want to do all these TikToks. If y'all not performing to the best of y'all ability, we got to get y'all out of here.
That's the weirdest thing.
So we got y'all out of here. The return they got back was, okay, we're gonna draft Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
And we gonna get George Pickens. If he don't want nothing to do with you, hey, if he don't want nothing to do with you, and it's just like Herb said, he don't want nothing to do with you, and Bill don't want nothing to do with you, it's a problem.
right.
I get you. I'm okay with my GM taking chances on certain guys because some guys hit, some guys don't. It's a chink in his armor.
I would say
it is a chink in his armor.
I mean,
But I like a GM that's like, hey, he didn't work there. Maybe we can make it work here.
But he's still a rookie GM. He's a rookie GM compared to Angelo, to Pace, to Emery, and now Poles. I actually like what Pace was doing. I think that his hands were held a little bit and they had a short leash. I like what Poles is doing. He's also a rookie GM, but we have an assistant GM. He's got some help. You're not going to hit on everything that you do this is your second year of a rebuild.
Yeah.
So like we have to wait for him to see whatever his vision is. He's still trying to figure out, is Fields his guy? He set himself up perfectly with these 2 picks for next year. He didn't overspend
His
in
first
free
round
agency.
pick looked like it hit too.
He hit even in his first drafts with Brisker. And do y'all realize we drafted a right tackle that doesn't seem to have a back problem? He's starting.
That's actually
He's the first.
Well, Tevin was our left tackle.
Tevin came in already with injuries. He came in as a right tackle, then they moved to the left, and they moved it.
Right.
We have a day one starter already.
Yeah. That's impressive.
What's the name?
That is impressive.
So we only have maybe 50% of what we need. We still need linemen. Now we were talking about this in the car, right? Me, you, Drew. How do we know that if Eberflus is gone, do we get another defense? Because do we have personnel that better fits a 3-4 now? Because we need these 4 dynamite defensive linemen to run that defense.
You have to bring in somebody that fits the defense that's here, unless you're gonna restart everything.
That's what I'm saying. If they restart
realistically,
next year,
you're not gonna restart everything because it's the defense that Ryan
But how
Poles
do
wants in place.
And how do we know that his hands were tied, that he had to pick from this group? He didn't get the guy he wanted, right? We don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe not.
I don't like that. I don't buy.
Maybe
I don't buy into that because the reason that he didn't go to Minnesota was because they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. The reason that he did, like, if your hands are tied, like we have.
You're right.
We have to be realistic
You're right,
as
he did
Bears
say
fans, right? He can mess up. He's gonna mess up. My hope is that he hits on 55% of his draft picks, 55% of his free agent signings. You know what that means? He hit more than he missed. Realistically, that's really the average. Shout out to him. That's really the average that you're gonna get. You know, I mean, like 60% is one of the best GMs in the NFL. Realistically, right? You're hitting on 60% of your picks, and of course, we have to wait right now to see what these picks are gonna be. But at the end of the day, for me, with Poles, Eberflus is his guy, because if Eberflus wasn't his guy, you don't go. Especially when the Bears have had their hands tied, we talked about it. Phil Emery's hands were tied. You want to know why? You can't trade Jay Cutler.
Right. No, you had to sign him.
You have to sign Jay. You can't trade him. You have to fix.
They gave him that
Jay
$127 million contract. It's like you didn't have to. Give him
Everybody
that
else
money.
who came in was like, we should get rid of Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I don't want to have Jay Cutler. Who was my man's? That's the GM now in Indianapolis. That was gonna get the job here. Heck, we had the head coach of Tampa, right? All of them in here, and he was like, I would love to coach the Chicago Bears. I don't want to coach Jay Cutler.
Right.
You can't get rid of Jay Cutler. When the Bears are tying your hands, you're not trading Khalil Mack. You're not trading Robert Quinn.
he was
You're
long in
not
the tooth.
trading.
They were long in the tooth.
He just had 6 sacks yesterday.
I was just about to say.
Oh yeah, great. Thanks, Khalil.
He also
After
would've-
how long?
He also would have been.
6 sacks.
He was hurt when
6
he was-
sacks.
Hey, look.
6 sacks, 2 fumbles,
6 sacks.
Yeah.
one
That's
game,
crazy.
right?
By the way,
One
he had
game?
44 points in
Okay.
fantasy. But who
No,
started?
hey,
Did anybody
it's
start
crazy.
him? Did
It's-
anybody
it's
start him?
crazy. I don't have him on my team.
Did anybody start him? No. I would love to know. Like, oh yeah, Khalil Mack did great. Did anybody start him in fantasy?
Joe,
No, I'm just asking because if
Joe,
he's so
you're the
dominant,
only one that adds defense in fantasy.
I'm just saying.
You're the only one that plays fantasy
Of
this
the
way,
pe-
bro.
In the chat, Breeze Nation. If any of you play with linebackers and defensive players,
You were the only one that plays fantasy this way.
nobody had him
does.
started.
How many points did he make?
He probably had like
44.
40 points, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
44
going.
points.
We had a lot
6
of
sacks,
points.
2 forced
Yeah,
fumbles
I
is
think-
crazy.
You know what makes me
But-
mad? Because I dropped Joey Bosa because he was hurt.
Right.
He started.
But my point is, right, like if you
See.
were going to get rid of Flus, if you weren't going to be in on Flus,
How did you know that?
what, 44
It's
points?
44 points.
I mean, I'm just adding up how many
I told you it was
sacks
44
cost.
points. Why
But-
does anybody listen to me? Jesus Christ.
Quiet.
You right.
But, be quiet back there. If Flus wasn't polls higher, he wouldn't be here.